Well, in the bigger picture of the world, I like to consider myself a learned man. That is somebody who, when he sees a problem, he does everything in his power to attempt to fix it. And when I noticed that we hadn't kept a clean sheet since the beginning of January, I thought to myself, what kind of changes could I make to this team? And switching out John Richardson for David Baddiel in goal? As bad as he was on Taskmaster, he's kept 3 consecutive clean sheets for us and sent us right to the top of the table. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 14 of Taskmaster FC, my Chesham United save, taking all of the contestants from Taskmaster, placing them in this football manager universe, and seeing what and how they do. When I last brought you with me, we played Curzon Ashton and ended up losing in the FA Trophy 5th round. Fine, time to move on. And then a Vanarama National League South loss against St. Albans City. Since then, decent run of form here. We drew against Hamill Hempstead Town, which again just kind of added to our poor run of form, so to speak. 3 losses in fairly consecutive matches is a poor run of form for this particular team. Kind of turned it around against Truro City, a team that I really felt like we should be beating more than 3-0. I'm fine with the 3 goals that we scored, but 2 goals allowed. And then I took a minute and went back and looked and realized we have not kept a clean sheet since Chelmsford City at the very beginning of January. And at that point, it had been 2 complete months. And I thought to myself, what kind of changes can I make to this team? Because I'm one of those people, when I notice a problem, I want to try to fix it. I don't want to just try to ride this. And maybe I should have recognized this a little bit sooner, but I went ahead and changed our goalkeeper. So I started at this point in time actually putting in David Baddiel in goal. And all of a sudden, we started keeping clean sheets again and scoring goals. So defense started playing much, much better as soon as I put David Baddiel in goal. And so for the last 3 matches, I've put David Baddiel in goal, and 7.3 and 7.4 rankings all around. 3 very dominant victories in the Vanarama National South, and that has propelled us straight to the top of the table on 88 points. 2 points ahead of Western Supermare, who we are going to be taking on today in one of our matches. Another match we are going to be taking on Farnborough, who are 7th. So 2 matches that are, I want to say, close to the top of the table. That's definitely top of the table clash right there. But 2 matches that are going to shape the future of the Vanarama National South and whether or not we can pick up this trophy towards the end of the season. We have already gone and qualified for the playoffs, which is fantastic. I don't think we can finish any worse than 3rd, to be honest, because these 3 teams here, Chesham United, Western Supermare, and Torquay United, are all in that mix for that top spot for automatic promotion to the Vanarama National proper. That being said, I think we're ready to kind of jump into our fixtures here. I don't think I'm going to make any significant changes here. I don't see any reason why I should. We've been playing absolutely out of our skin lately. Maybe Frank Skinner? Whitcomb got injured. Unfortunately, Josh Whitcomb, one of our key players so far this season, is out for the rest of the season. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with that for now. So Brindley Stint has been taking over and has had a fairly good matches so far. We do have Frank Skinner in here. I think I'm going to leave him on the bench. He still needs to be built up to fitness. Unfortunately, not in quite the best sharpness at this point in time. But for now, we'll kind of keep it as it is. So in goal, we're going to have David Baddiel, and defensively, we're looking at Godleman, Dravid, Adefope, and Key. Central midfield, Jenny Eclair, Jenny Tien, our Jennies, holding down the fort in midfield. I've been meaning to say that for quite some time now, but just haven't had the courage to do so because it makes, I feel like I sound dumb when I say it, but it is what it is. Brindley Stint, Sam Campbell, Sophie Duker, and Roisin Conady up top. Such an eclectic mix of Taskmaster contestants that have really put us towards the top of the table. Very exciting. We're going to go ahead and submit that team and hope that we can continue this good run of form. Again, those clean sheets have really been extraordinarily helpful in just propelling us towards the top of the table. We've always been scoring goals this season, and our defense has usually been pretty solid. But again, as I noticed over the last couple months, we just haven't been keeping clean sheets the same way we had previously, and that was something that I found quite problematic. So I wanted to make a change, and I made a change, and it actually worked. Who knew that making a change when there was a problem could lead to solving said problem? Wow, it's an ingenious thought there as we approach the 20-minute mark of this game. 0-0, looks like we get a free kick. Jenny Tien, Godleman just heads it over the top, and that will be a goal kick to Western Supermare. Hopefully we capitalize on the opportunities today. Jenny Tien with the corner now. Adefope, ooh, right off the post. Looks like we might get a rebound here. Stint is going to take the ball, settle it down, get the ball into the box, but it is cleared by the Western Supermare defender, and that ends the highlight. So enjoyed so far just the opportunities that we have presented in front of goal so far today. It's been a pretty good game so far. Unfortunately, 0-0. We don't really have anything to show for it. Western-super-Mare have been right there with us for most of the season. Same with Torquay United. It's from an objective standpoint, it's quite an exciting end to a very, very exciting campaign here in the Vanarama National South. And free kick gets headed out. I can't remember if it was a free kick or a corner, but regardless, Sophie Duker down the line. Roisin Connolly was wide open. There's no way Roisin Connolly was onside. I'm offside by 50 feet, it looked like. I mean, she was just out there just hanging out for no reason whatsoever. Unfortunately, that leads to an offside call, and we have nothing to show for it. At halftime, it is 0-0. I'm not too terribly disappointed with what we've done as a team. I think we can continue with what we're doing. Haven't really allowed too many offensive opportunities for Western-super-Mare to get into the game, which I am perfectly fine with. Looks like they're going to take it. We intercept immediately. Stent into the box. Unfortunately, nobody there to connect. And we've been really applying lots of pressure. Unfortunately, Roisin Connolly cannot connect. And it might be one of those games where Roisin Connolly is just not going to score for us no matter how many opportunities she ends up having this game. And again, we end up with a corner. Jenny Tien going to take this. And hopefully we find somebody in the box, get a header, and put it back in the net. Roisin Connolly cannot connect. Sophie Duker now. Sophie Duker. Thought she was going to end up passing it in the box there to find somebody a little bit with a better angle, but she ends up taking it. It deflects off the goalkeeper in the back of the net, and it is 1-0 to Chesham United. Again, just dominating the corners here. Tien with a great corner here. Roisin Connolly gets the ball back out to Duker, and I think everybody's anticipating a pass here. Everybody kind of backs off and finds somebody to defend, and Duker just tucks it in near side and ends up leading this match 1-0. That is a very, very exciting way to start our second half. Warner, again, probably a little more cautious this time in getting the ball out of their defensive end, but we still end up getting the ball anyways. Duker to Campbell, back to Tien, works it back to Angela Dravid, who's working it on the left-hand side here to Godleman. Godleman moves it up to Stint. Stint can't find anybody, tries to cross it into the box, finds Connolly. Unfortunately, that's headed away. Stint back to Connolly, and that is 2-0 over Western-super-Mare. This is one of the most important games we are going to play all year, and we are currently up 2-0. An absolutely dominant performance so far from Chesham United. Stint, again, just very, very patient here. Gets the ball into the box. It's cleared away. Stint just follows up with an interesting one touch. I don't know how realistic that is, but regardless, it finds the head of Connolly. It ends up in the back of the net, and we are up 2-0 in this absolutely crucial match. Badil now with the goal kick, ends up getting it, and unfortunately goes right to the Western-super-Mare offensive attacker here. Jose? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names. All I know is Western-super-Mare is on the attack at the moment. And we've done a good job defensively so far of just making sure that they do not get any penetration. Unfortunately, I spoke too soon as Fletcher gets down the right-hand side here. And that is going to be a penalty. Jenny Eclair, unfortunately, clips the Western-super-Mare offensive player and ends up taking a penalty here. And we need David Badil, who, oh my goodness, the best decision I've ever made playing Football Manager is putting David Badil in goal. And you may have seen him in Taskmaster. He was pretty bad. I will be perfectly honest with you right now. This might be the best decision I have ever made. That is an absolutely crucial save to keep this 2-0. We want to really try to keep that 2-goal lead, and we're going to do so. I'm going to go ahead and make some changes here because it looks like the tide has turned a little bit offensively. Jenny Eclair, unfortunately with that penalty, I'm going to try to get Frank Skinner in to get a little bit of fitness going. Everybody else looks pretty good. I mean, defensively, we're not playing poorly. We're playing a very balanced mentality. I'm going to go ahead and move on the time wasting. I hate doing that so early, but this is such an important match. We don't really need to be scoring any more goals. Rather, we just really need to make sure we hang on to this victory. 20 minutes left. We are up 2-0, and a very solid performance overall, especially David Badil doing an excellent job and potentially keeping a 4th clean sheet in a row, knock on wood. Of course, as soon as I say that, I know exactly what's going to happen. Roisin Connolly looks tired. We're going to go ahead and take off Connolly. We're going to put on, or actually going to trade for Burnley Stint here, and then put Joe Thomas on the left wing here to hopefully close out this match. I'm not sure I need to make any more changes. I'll leave that open just in case we do get an injury. That does seem to be a trend of mine, is putting all 3 players and then end up with an injury that ends up leaving us down to 10 men, which we do not want to do here. So we get possession. Duker gets it back to Adefope. Adefope will play it to Badil. Badil to Angela Dravid as we start to work our way back out of the defensive zone to Tien, back to Dravid, to Skinner, back to Dravid. Looks like we're just kind of bouncing the ball around a little bit, just trying to waste a little bit of time. Adefope looks to find somebody, finds Duker to Adefope, to Sam Campbell, who just pushes the ball long, gets it to Stint, who ends up scoring. It's 3-0 over Western Supermare, and we have made them look foolish today. Top of the table clash, it hasn't been even close today, as we have absolutely dominated performance. And we are going to walk away with a victory today, which is a very, very crucial victory, to hopefully ensuring that we end up winning automatic promotion from the Vanarama National South to the Vanarama National League, taking us one step closer to Little Alex Horne's dream of being in charge, or at least being on the board, of a team that is in the Premier League. I know we've got a long way to go until then, but it's a very exciting start to the save nonetheless. Borman with a shot. David Baddiel had it covered. I think Baddiel, once given the opportunity, really has taken advantage of it, and I gotta say, this might be the thing that ends up saving our season. I'm absolutely thrilled with what we've seen so far. Kind of the last couple minutes of stoppage time here. Really would like to keep that clean sheet if possible. But Western Supermare looked like they were on the tack trying to get something from this game, even if it's just a garbage goal towards the end of the game here. Borman on the left-hand side crosses it in. Unfortunately, that does beat Baddiel. I spoke too soon. It's 3-1. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for us, stoppage time is almost over. I'm going to go ahead and skip that. I don't want to see the replay of that. And we're going to take a 3-1 win today, which again propels us continually up the top of the table. 3 more points, especially from a match like that, is something that is absolutely crucial to our promotion hopes. And hopefully, we can continue that run of form against Farnborough, who've dropped some points and are now down to 8th. Looks like we've actually put a 5-point lead between us and Western Supermare and a 7-point lead between us and Torquay United with 6 games left in the season. That is exactly where you want to be at this point in the game. This point in the save. Yeah, this point in the season. Whatever. Game, season, save. It's all good. It is all good. I tell you what, I'm going to go make a couple changes here. We've got 7 days left. This is exactly how you want to end out the season. We're going to play a match against Farnborough, and we will go from there. See you soon. Well, I don't normally bring you back for these types of situations, but AFC Sudbury made an offer, like a money offer for Lale Adefope. £13,000. I immediately rejected it, and then Adefope came to me and said, you know what? I want to go to AFC Sudbury, which is in the Southern League Premier Central. I'll be at first place. Give it some credit there. And then I discussed it with her and said, I'll sell you if the price is right. And we settled on £150,000. So if they come in and offer me £150,000, I will do a cartwheel on camera because that takes care of all of the debt and gives us a nice little kitty that we can utilize to bring in some more players. So I'll let you know if Adefope ends up deciding to go, but £150,000, I don't think AFC Sudbury is in any position to make that kind of transfer offer, considering all they offered me was £13,000. So, and the highest fee they've ever paid for a player is £5,000. So my expectations are quite low with this, but I thought it was an interesting piece of transfer business that I thought you would enjoy taking a look at. I'll keep you posted, and we'll see you very soon. So no transfer business for Lale Adefope at this point in time. I think there's 5 days left in the free transfer window at this level, so plenty of time to bring in that £150,000 of cash if they're willing to take Adefope off of our hands. But that being said, we have the unfortunate incident here of Roisin Kennedy being on international duty until March 26th, so we're unfortunately going to have to make some changes up top, which might limit our attacking prowess for the next couple of games. Again, Roisin Kennedy on international duty, Josh Whittingham simply not going to be able to play for the rest of the season. So unfortunately, that leaves us a little bit tied here in terms of who we can put in here, but other than that, we're going to just keep Joe Thomas in here. I believe we moved Brindley Stint up top when we took out Roisin Kennedy. So just a couple of changes here up top for our game against Farnborough. We're going to go ahead and submit that team and hopefully get a second victory today, because the first victory was just so amazing and so perfect, and I couldn't really ask for anything more except for maybe a David Baddiel clean sheet. If we continue to perform like we did our last game, we will win this game. And to be perfectly honest, I think a win this game really seals the deal. I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to knock on wood, but as far as we're concerned, a victory today really puts us in an enviable position for the other teams that are chasing us. Western Supermare, I believe, is 5 points behind us, and then, gosh, it was Torquay United who was 7 points behind us. So a win today really, really puts the pressure on those other two teams to make sure that they win out for the rest of the season, and I think we can continue to put on the pressure as we get an opportunity here. Godleman Back to Angela Dravid. Love how our wingbacks just end up pushing up. Dravid's going to fire a shot, not quite her strong point. Ends up firing it just wide. It'd be a free kick, goal kick to Farnborough United. I'll just call it Farnborough. Corner, TN. We need to really start capitalizing on these corners. I may want to start looking at set pieces as a way to really hone in on scoring goals because we've had a lot of them the last couple of games. Many of the goals and many of the opportunities we've had have been corner, a couple free kicks here and there. So maybe focusing in on the corners might be a good way to kind of pad the goal tally here a little bit as we approach the end of the season. Good possession here. Key gets the ball, tries to fire it forward. Unfortunately, gets pushed back by Farnborough, but we end up retaining possession. Out of Fope now, defensively, up to Tim Key. Tim Key to Jenny Tien, just kind of working the ball around the back. Out of Fope fires it forward. Unfortunately, can't get anybody on it, but Sam Campbell ends up getting on it. Joe Thomas now into the box. Cannot connect. Thomas gets it. And, just tucks it in. Far post. 1-0 Chesham United. Joe Thomas did all of the work there. And let's look at that again on replay. Joe Thomas crosses the ball in. It's immediately headed out of the way. But he ends up pursuing the ball, defeating a defender, and just nicely curls it into the back of the net. It's 1-0 Chesham United. And again, we have to believe that we can win this game today. That is the first step. If you believe, you will win. I think I read that somewhere. Couldn't tell you where. It's been a long time since I've actually opened a book. But regardless, we've got possession again. Eclair looks to pass the ball forward and just can't find anybody. And that is a bad miss by Farnborough. Wide open opportunity, one-on-one with the keeper Badil, and cannot connect. And they're starting to push down the field here. I'd like to really see us get to, I almost said retirement, get to halftime. Unfortunately, we're not going to make it. This Farnborough end up equalizing on a very disappointing play that I feel like our defender should have done a better job in the box of getting that ball clear as soon as it was passed in the middle. Cross in, it's deflected out, but unfortunately it's right to the Farnborough right midfielder, right attacker, and nobody paying any attention to the three players who are sitting on the doorstep looking to just tap the ball into the back of the net, and we're going to go to halftime tied 1-1. Not ideal that we give up a goal so late towards halftime. I'm not pleased with that. I will let them know that I'm not pleased. I don't see any real important changes we need to make at halftime. Looks like we don't have a whole lot of offensive firepower that we can really make substitutions with. It looks like defensively, it's really the only way we're going to be able to make some substitutions. I'll take a look and see how things play out the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. If we look like we're really starting to be against our heels here, we may make some substitutions. Unfortunately, I've had one shot on target. It has been in the back of the net. And maybe the good luck for Badil has run out. And I think that might be the case. I mean, that ball's going in regardless of what Duker does. To be fair, Duker did try to head the ball out. Unfortunately, it doesn't do much of anything, and just 2 shots on goal, 2 balls in the back of the net, and I think it might be time to get Richardson back in goal because that is not what I need to see. I'm tempted to do it now. Am I really going to be that mean? Am I really going to be that mean? No. No. Next game, yes, but this game, no. Because to be fair, one of those opportunities was a good, solid opportunity, but we need to execute here. And I'm not sure what that is intended to do other than completely turn the ball over to the other team, which is exactly what it did. Dravid plays it out to Godleman. Looking out on the left-hand side here, Eclair, good one-touch pass to Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas cuts into the midfield, ends up getting it to Brinley Stint. Stint over to Duker. Duker is going to play the ball out. Unfortunately, it gets intercepted by a defender. Duker does get the ball back, and looks like Tien was pushed in the box. That is going to be a penalty. And I'm not sure who's going to take it at this point in time. Looks like Joe Thomas is going to take it and scores, thankfully. It is 2-2. Great penalty take by Joe Thomas. I'm not sure. I feel like Rashid Kennedy is normally our penalty taker, and if not, it's Whitcomb. But Joe Thomas steps in and absolutely executes when he needs to do so. It wasn't a great penalty by any stretch of the imagination. I really feel like if the goalkeeper had just stood there rather than just falling down, might have made the save. But regardless, it's 2-2. We're tied up. Free kick. Godleman gets the ball into the box. Henwood now gets it to Eclair, who scores. I love it. Oh, yes. Second half comeback. Can we call it a comeback even though we were tied? I'm going to call it a comeback. It's 3-2 Chesham United. Good free kick here by Godleman. Gets the ball into the box. It's cleared away by the defender, but Henwood gets his foot on the ball and just very similar to the Farnborough goal, just passes the ball into the middle, and Eclair absolutely fires it home. No doubt about that. It is 3-2. We are heading into the latter half of the second half. I'm going to go ahead and make our change to time wasting here. I don't see any reason to make any other changes at this time. Maybe Duker. Like I said, don't have a whole lot of offense I can really put on here. I've got Daniel Walker. But out of hope, everybody's kind of playing a decent defensive game. Central defenders have not played terribly well, considering we've allowed 2 goals, but well enough to keep us in this game. I've always said I really prefer to play more strong defensively and winning 1-0, 2-0, but I'm happy to score 3 goals in a game. No problem with that whatsoever. Looks like we're going to go into stoppage time here, and hopefully we can continue on with this and pull out a victory, but it looks like Farnborough are going to have one last opportunity here with 2 minutes left in stoppage time. They do have a free kick in a fairly dangerous position. And if they can tuck it near post here, they might have an opportunity. I don't see this being a loft into the box, but rather this is a free kick on net right over the top. That'll be a goal kick for Chesham United, and I think we're going to round this out with a victory. We do. That is a big 3 points, especially coming down from 2-1. To really come back and get a solid result here is absolutely superb. I am thrilled with that. Be proud. Let's see where we are in terms of the table. That gives us a 7-point gap. Western-super-Mare still need to play a game in hand. That still could make the gap 5 and 7, but with 5 games left in the season, that is exactly what we want to see. Superior goal difference as well. And I think when I bring you back next, we'll just have to see when we end up possibly clinching. So we'll kind of play it by ear and see if we can get a clinching game and then just play the last game of the season and see how things end up from there. But I'm telling you, just a quick little change here, and all of a sudden, our run of form is back where it needs to be in order to win the Vanarama National South. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you have, leave a like. Make sure that you subscribe if you're interested in seeing more fantastic Taskmaster FC content. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and we will see you very, very soon on our next video. Bye, everybody.